What if everything we know is just a thin layer? A thin layer of memory sitting on top of a planet that forgets. Because that's really the question here. Not pyramids, not symbols, not conspiracies, but this: how much of reality is truly solid, and how much of it is just temporary. We started with a simple doubt. Why pyramids? Why symbols? Why does everything feel like it has a hidden meaning? And honestly, that instinct isn't stupid. Humans are pattern-seeking machines. We look at the world, and we don't just see things, we see stories. A pyramid becomes mystery. An eye becomes control. A number like 13 becomes something deeper. But here's the twist. Sometimes the symbol is just a symbol, and sometimes it's a mirror of how the human mind works. Because the brain hates randomness. If something looks complex, it assumes intention. If something feels meaningful, it assumes design. And that's not a bug, that's survival. Now zoom out. Way out. Think about the Earth itself, the distance to the sun, the balance of temperature, the conditions for life. It all feels suspiciously perfect, like everything is tuned just right. And you're not wrong to feel that. Some scientists even call it fine-tuning. But here's where things split into possibilities. Maybe it's designed. Maybe there are countless universes, and we're just in the one that works. Or maybe we simply don't understand enough yet. 3 doors. None fully closed, none fully proven. And then comes the deeper thought. What if everything resets? Not once, but many times. Imagine this. A global collapse. Civilization gone. No internet. No electricity. No records. Just small groups of humans scattered across the planet. Africa. Anatolia. America. Hungry. Cold. Trying to survive. Do you think anyone is talking about atoms? Or protons? Of course not. They're talking about fire. Water. Food. Now give it time. 50 years. 100. Children grow up without seeing technology. They only know what they can touch. 200 years later, airplanes become stories. 500 years later, those stories become myths. A long time ago, people flew like birds. No details, no engineering. Just imagination filling the gaps. This is how knowledge dies. Not with a bang, but with silence. And then, slowly, it comes back. Agriculture returns. Villages grow. Trade begins. Curiosity wakes up again. Someone looks at the stars. Someone asks, what is this made of? And step by step, humanity climbs again. Not exactly the same, but similar, because the rules of physics didn't change. Only memory did. So here's the uncomfortable idea. What if we're not the first? What if there were civilizations before us that reached high levels and then vanished? Would we even know? After a few million years, tectonic plates move, oceans shift, mountains rise. Almost everything disappears. What remains? Maybe a thin chemical trace, a strange layer in the earth, like a scar. And suddenly, the pyramids don't feel like the biggest mystery anymore, because the real question is bigger, much bigger. What survives longer, stone or knowledge? Because without writing, without records, even the greatest discoveries fade. Within a few generations, we go from space travel to storytelling. And here's the final thought. If everything we built disappeared tomorrow, what would remain of us? Not buildings, not machines, but patterns, habits, ways of thinking, maybe even myths. So maybe the real mystery isn't who is controlling the world, but this: if the world resets, would we recognize it? Or would we just start the same story again, thinking it's the first time?